one. Okay.
We don't need to make Finnick up be a pervert.
That's, we're actually live for that comment, so. Whew,
Oh, I know. I saved it for that.
whew, context. So, welcome back to the dawn of the new era, and with our wonderful cast of the Dapper Dans. Cue groaning now.
Hello.
We are back for a wonderful adventure after the last session where things took a more dramatic turn. Particularly tension between Fennec and Yami, who kind of left things slightly unresolved. Unfortunately, Yami, we're going to say, walked off out of the tavern in a sort of pensive way, as not only did Fennec turn his back to him, Levin also walked him out of the bar and then just left him alone, refusing to hear anything that he pleaded to be heard of. So, one of the key things that we left off at was that Fennec was looking for, I guess, company. He left the tavern unbeknownst to anybody, as Gearfried went to go check on him later on and found the room empty. That, or he knocked on the door, no response, and left. We'll clarify that once Gearfried has his chance to tell his side of the story on that. But we left off where Fennec was outside of the school research library window as he was watching the gobliness researcher that he had begun to grow an attachment to. In that, Boston, would it be wrong to say in that love at first sight type of moment, or how would you describe that click that you felt when you saw her?
Let's just say that he felt something. Is it love at first sight? We don't know yet, but it's definitely a feeling that filled a void where Yami used to be.
Interesting turn of phrase. We're going to unpack that in a minute.
No, he's just like, he doesn't often, like, where he kind of, strives to gain knowledge on certain things. Like, she's like the head of the school, or not the head of the school, but like, higher up in the school rankings, like smart, intelligent, and in his eyes, pretty. So, I mean, he's having the college freshman experience to upperclassmen.
All right, that's fair. So we're going to just label it as more infatuation at first sight.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put that.
All right. So I think I'm going to ham it up for you. Suddenly the rain starts to fall as you're looking through this window. What are you doing? What is your purpose behind going here? Are you going to go inside, or are you going to wait until she catches you? Or until somebody catches you, I should say. It's not necessarily going to be her.
So he's looking at, how is her position to where he is, like in the window? Is her back to him, facing him, side to side?
Her back would be to him. So unless you made any sort of noise that would, and honestly, if you are hiding your presence, you will be rolling a stealth check very soon.
He's not hiding his presence from her. He's moving quietly so like no one else sees him, but he's not gonna keep watching. He is gonna try and go in and like kind of engage with her.
Alrighty. So as you make your way towards the entrance of the research library, now you are slightly wet. If you have prestidigitation, once you get into the inside, you would be able to dry yourself off. If you don't, you are slightly wet.
Yeah, he's wet.
Okay. But with that, you enter, nobody's stopping you. What would you like to do?
When he enters, where, like, what's her, like, from his position to hers?
Let me change the map real quick. see. Of course, things are giving me an issue. Technical difficulties for 30 seconds.
Hey, check out our website. It's being changed.
Right? It'll be published soon. Alright, as we keep going,
shit.
ultimately it's going to be a not too far away. So when you enter the door, it's going to be on her right hand side. So she would be sitting about 20 to 30 feet away from you at one of the tables. She would have several stacks of books in front of her. And her nose is ultimately in the book, so she is not being very observant at this time.
He'll just kind of like awkwardly stand there for a moment, and kind of look at her, just kind of admiring what she's doing, and then he'll take a couple steps forward, and he'll give he'll do the awkward. What you reading? Like low enough that it's to try and not startle her, and he's still kind of at his distance, but enough that she can hear him clearly.
Alrighty. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Do I get dumbstruck love advantage?
How would you argue dumbstruck love when we clarified it was infatuation at first sight?
Yeah, that's true. Yep, good call.
I mean, if you could make the argument, I would not be opposed to it. But you'd have to confess you're in love.
Okay, so my argument for it would be like, he may be awkward at the moment, but like, he wants to make that first impression like good, well, not first impression, like first real impression good. So he is like, truly trying not to screw this up. So like every bit of charisma that is in him is like at the forefront. Like he's gonna try and have like an actual conversation.
Ran his fingers through his hair, just straightened his clothes real quick.
Yeah, he does the quick little like almond behind him.
She's gonna think you're a serial killer and you're gonna kill her.
Wait, so with that, you are going to notice that yes, you are going to get advantage, but with your plea and with you focusing all of your charisma on this, you're going to notice that something is on your side and your clothes are now dry. Your hair is still wet, but your clothes are dry.
Something's on my side.
The universe.
Think of it as slightly divine intervention, Deus Ex Machina. I mean, you want to look a gift horse in the mouth, or you want to go to her sopping wet?
Sorry. So
I mean,
clothes are dry and my hair is wet. Okay.
That's all. See, and you do have it. You do have advantage though.
Perfect. All right. Rolling persuasion. I'm using an inspiration.
Okay.
I'm not settling for that. I will not let him crash and burn. It's much better. Dirty 20.
All right. With the dirty 20,
That's my boy.
she does jump a bit, but it's not as startling as it could have been if you were attempting to sneak up. And you notice that she does quickly kind of close the book she's reading and push it off to the side to a slight degree. And she does face you with her full attention, and almost as if second nature, she's shifting another book in its place. Just doing some research for Body Nook Learning.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I apologize. I should have announced myself better.
No, I tend to get lost in the moment, especially when I'm reading. and she does offer you a smile.
Do you mind if I join you? And he will kind of like run his hand through his hair, more so not to style or do anything, but more like to get water out of it. And he'll kind of do like the hand flick to get like dried off his. Didn't realize it was gonna rain tonight.
She's going to kind of just laugh softly, and you're going to see her hand motion, and as she does, a chair pulls out.
Thank you. You gotta. So he'll walk over, still a little slow and awkward, like still kind of being respectful and not like rushing, but he'll take a seat and he'll kind of take a moment to like look at the different books and kind of look at her kind of in between the books, like that, you know, rom-com, like look at the book, look at her in transition, look at the book, look at her in transition, see if she's looking at him.
She is going to be occasionally looking up, but as she returns her gaze, you are going to notice that she does eventually get caught back up into the research as she starts taking notes, as if unsure what to do from there.
Well, so it's a lot of books. Quite the book collection. And then he's going to grab his key ring and go, I have a lot of keys. I collect them. Kind of strange, though, right?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, please.
He's whipping out the keys.
Well, this is really to find out if this is endearing or sympathetic.
Would you like to see my collection? Look at your book. Now back to me. Now back to your book. Now back to me.
Ultimately, surprisingly, I actually had set the DC for 15, so you did meet it. She does find the dedication to your collection endearing. But she is going to kind of chuckle. Well, these, of course, are not my books. They are from the library here. Just doing some research, though I wish I had this type of a collection.
These aren't your books. These are my keys. I just found them. Look at that. Something in common. We both have things that don't belong to us.
You're doing great, bud.
She doesn't know what to say. So she's gonna kind of just stare at you, blinking.
I need a minute on that one.
I did too.
He's
You know what?
Times.
I'm giving you an inspiration for this because I love this. I'm actually crying over here.
Please. Walked into the window and it's been chatting her up like nothing's wrong. This is like, oh my
The
god.
fact that he has not been pepper sprayed yet is.
He's been rolling well. It's not my fault.
It's and
And
no
it's-
reality is
it's
coming anywhere near this.
This is a
Beautiful.
fantasy game, to be fair.
I love it. This is beautiful.
True.
I love it. Keep it going because this is just completely Fennec.
Good time.
This is insane. Absolutely crazy, man.
So, with that, she is going to kind of look at you with a blank stare for a moment, blinking 2 or 3 times. Well, hopefully nobody needs those keys that you took. Or borrowed. Not sure what the right term would be.
honestly, I just in my travels I find them, and he'll kind of like put his hands up like, I swear I didn't steal them. I don't know. I've always taken a liking to mystery and the unknown, and I find that these keys help me, pursue that. Not knowing what they go to, it's every locked door is some unanswered thing. Kind of like your books, every page leads to something new.
Well, only the first time. Of course, you'll find little things here or there, but for the most part, no, everything there is set in stone, and something about that consistency is wonderful. No matter how obscure of a language or a history I have to delve into, consistency is good to come back to. And you're going to notice that her hands have stopped moving, but her pen is still kind of writing.
Consistency. That is a foreign concept to me. The only thing that's consistent in my life is me.
Just as your view of chaos is interesting as it is, it's foreign, which is what probably makes it interesting.
You're the first person I think that truly understands me.
As this conversation is unfolding, you are going to hear the library door open and close. It's not loud enough that it's enough to interrupt the conversation, but it's audible enough that both of you did hear the closing of the door.
He'll turn and look, but not say anything.
You would see a gnome approaching the research table.
Is it Knickerbocker?
Nah, it's Body Knock.
That's what I meant.
I know, I'm just busting chops. But yes, it would be Body Knock Merning who is approaching. Ah, well, I see you're hard at work tonight. What brings you here tonight? As he's looking at his researcher and then turning to you, Fennec. Oh, and you're back. As a reminder, as a meta note, did you tell him your name when you met him the first time?
I don't.
So I'm just gonna say, make the decision now if you would have told him your name, and then we'll just
go back
retcon that as is.
Yeah, he did. He did use his name, I believe.
So not in a malicious way, but just in the sense that his mind is on other things. He turns around. Oh, you're fondant, right?
He'll offer like that awkward laughing. Fondant. I like that. No, it was Fennec.
Fennec. Gotcha. So, what brings you here today?
I was just walking by and I saw, a light on or torch lit, and was seeing if this, and he's gonna slip, like not even think, like it's just so fluid out of his mouth he doesn't even realize. Thinking of this lovely, beautiful goblin wanted some company, and then he realizes that he did it, and just like his face just petrified.
You are going to notice that her face, I'm assuming that goblins blush red. It's never actually a question I've had to ask before. But whatever way a goblin expresses a flush of embarrassment, more for situational, not because of what was said, she does it. And you notice that he has just a jovial expression as he is just kind of chuckling. Again, not maliciously or not at your expense, but just the reactions in the room. Your face dropping, her face turning whatever shade of blush goblins turn. And he is just kind of enjoying the environment.
Yes,
Well, let me not interrupt you, young lovers. And you're going to notice that he starts looking through the books that she has stacked and starts taking specific ones before making his way out. You notice that those books begin to hover in the air as soon as he stacks them up and follow him out.
While he's doing that, would Fennec be able to get a glimpse of which books he's taking?
Give me a perception check.
Something like
And then let me double check what languages you know.
that. A 6. So it doesn't matter what language.
That is not necessarily true.
Fair.
Alright, languages. You notice you're not able to catch the entire title. But it is in Sylvan that you recognize. It's a record book of, and you're not sure of what. But you understand it to be a record book, the one that you were able to recognize.
Okay. Ooh! I speak Sylvan.
I know, that's why you're able to read that much.
Okay, so I got that. And he's gonna try and make just the small talk. Oh, a little bit of a burning the midnight oil, as they say. Some light reading at night.
Light. No, we have a lot of work. It's been quite a lot of long nights. And with this, we're going to pause for a moment, and we're going to jump back to the tavern where the rest of you are. I know, Levin, you specifically are not at the tavern, so before we jump to the tavern, we're going to see what you're doing.
No, you can go to the tavern. That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever I'm doing is waiting on other people, so don't worry about it.
Gotcha. So, at the tavern, we would have Maylee sitting at the bar, kind of embarrassed at the situation that happened. She is somewhat guilt-ridden, somewhat angry, feeling as if she was kind of used in this situation, as she starts beginning to process what happened. Gearfried, you would have gone up to check on Fennec, but you may not. I don't know if you went into the room, so we're gonna kind of start off going back a little bit to see what you would have done. So as you went back to check on Fennec, how would you have done it?
First he would have walked up to his room, just kind of give him the courtesy knock. The answer wouldn't matter if they're sharing a room. Gearfried would just like knock, be like, "Hey, coming in." So like, "Oi, Fennec," and then open the door. Kind of, is there like, are there pillows under the bed to like? Did Fennec do a disguise to get out of here, or is?
He just bounced.
Then Gearfried would just kind of like take a glance, look around. Huh. Close the door behind him, walk back downstairs, and then approach the rest of the party. Fennec's gone.
So nonchalantly. It's like it's become second nature for him to say this.
Zarya just glances, goes back to drinking.
Maylee's face is
Sir.
going to drop further.
Did we go back to our room?
I think she was at the bar.
I cannot remember. So someone tell me.
So we're just going to
'Cause I
say that you
cannot-
guys are still at the bar at this point.
Fair.
Did I go?
I have no idea where he went.
Oh wait, I think I we did go up to the room because I think I left money for Zarya to keep drinking. I remember that.
Oh yeah, and I stayed. Okay, good.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay,
here's some
remember.
drinks on me. Enjoy.
So Zarya, how you liking the party
Enjoying.
so far? Considering that you're the only other person here, I mean, I don't know where everyone else went. They keep disappearing.
You all are fucking crazy.
You know, I was of that mindset when I first joined, but it tends to sort of grow on you.
Maybe. Yes, that is yet to happen.
I give you some time. By the way, are you supposed to be hunting melee or something?
Points a thumb at Melee. Oh, did my mic
Melee-
not catch that?
Is melee in the bar, or is she with Saris right now?
She probably would have been with Saris at that point, so I'd have to retcon her reaction to the situation until she
Oh,
finds
okay.
out. But you could still thumb up to the direction of the room.
Thumb up.
So I have to ask, what exactly is your game plan here?
Hmm.
I
Stick
mean,
around for as long as I get paid. If I get pissed off, or I think the warrant for her is good, I take her and I bail.
well, I await your sudden and inevitable betrayal with bated breath. Bartender, give me a Dwarven Stout. I'm going to place a 5 silver on the table.
You will receive a dwarven stout.
It's not a betrayal if you never expected me to like any of you.
Well, I mean, you are with us currently, technically speaking. You are I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Interim member of the Dapper Dans? Probationary member of the Dapper
We're
Dans?
doing some extra work.
Well, just know that if we get caught, then you will be a fugitive of the authorities, and then you're gonna have to stick with us no matter what.
That's assuming they catch me.
I mean, and Gearfrey just kind of like look up at her, and not for nothing, but I don't mean this in a way that's meant to be offensive, but you are enormous.
Long, hard, blank stare.
You're like 7 feet tall. I'm just saying, you're not. You're an easy catch to kind of see in a crowd. You stand a good 2 heads above everybody else.
Yeah, maybe. Your friend lost me when she first met me, though.
That is true, but Saris has very poor eyes. I worry about her sometimes. She's I feel like sometimes we're only keeping her on the team to placate her. Something of a group effort to make sure that she feels included, you know?
It's like mostly she's trying to vibe check you. Where are you at? What are you doing here? Why are you talking to me?
Gearfried's just like, I mean, you're the only person here.
God damn it!
I would say, Gearfried, are you being genuine in your words, or are you just, making are you just making small talk?
Gearfried is just trying to mess around and it's small talk, but he's also making a little dig at Saris while she can't hear him because he thinks it'll be funny if Zarya actually responds to that.
Gotcha. So, yeah, ultimately, if you would like, you could attempt to roll a deception check just to kind of see if you get that rise based off of her insight. If not, what is Zarya's reaction to the comment?
Mostly just
Okay.
I think at most an eyebrow raise of what the fuck are these people doing? She has been with these people for not very long, and they are some chaotic and weird little fuckers, and she does not, for the life of her, understand why they are together.
Sounds
Okay, so my bad.
Yep.
I rolled on the wrong. I rolled on D&D Beyond by accident, but I did roll a 3. So,
Oh my god.
She probably knows that, and I don't have any modifier to that. So she probably knows that Gearfried is talking out of his ass right now.
Forms.
Oh, I love this game. As
It's
is
just-
Yep, go ahead.
She just rolls her eyes and just says, "What are you doing here, little man? What's the point of this?"
What's the point of anything? Just to have fun. But I figure that conversation's not your cup of tea, so, and when Gearfried's ale gets there, his stout, he'll be like, "So I'll bond with you the only way that, I figure I can. I did grow up, surrounded by dwarves, after all," and Gearfried's just gonna start downing his drink.
Alright.
You
Drink
guys-
with me if you want.
You guys are gonna be patrons to this tavern.
Might as well, honestly.
Alrighty.
Like, he's putting my kids through college.
Right? Hey, now this
We're gonna be
this tavern keeper now has a son who goes to Morgrave University. Thank you very much. You are supporting him now.
Lovely.
We're gonna become the Statler and Waldorf of this bar.
Who?
I'm old, never mind.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm older and I didn't get the reference.
To be fair, I watch a lot of old-timey westerns with my dad, so...
It was a
know
Muppets
those.
joke.
I was never
Oh,
really.
yeah, no,
for the
before
two
my
Yeah,
time.
I wasn't really a Muppet fan.
I
Well,
like
whatever.
the
We will
Muppets, I just
continue.
never
We will
caught any of the
continue to
original.
drink. I will continue to drink until either she or myself is passed out, because Gearfried is still very much. He's not been vocalizing it, but he just performed like a back alley surgery on himself, so he is not in the most healthy of conditions right now.
Fair enough.
Ayy.
He'd do
So
like a free Gallagher liver transplant.
Well, I mean the biological artifice, the feat that I just got on Level Up that I flavored is him putting technology into his arms. He's not a doctor, so that he's in pain.
Silly.
So, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, both of you. And while we're doing that, we're going to jump up to Ceres. So, Ceres, you and Maylee are both in the room. You do notice that she seemed to have acquired a hip flask and is currently drinking from it. She doesn't know what's in it, but she's drinking alcohol.
What's this? New hobby?
I mean, it seems pretty good. Tastes terrible, but
Indeed. Where did that come from?
and she's just going to simply shrug. I lifted it.
Ooh. From whom?
One of the people in the tavern.
And you're certain you weren't caught and noticed?
I'm like 90% sure.
That'll work.
I mean, are you ever
just-
100% sure that you've never been caught?
Generally, because I haven't been. But the more important lesson is try not to steal while you sleep.
Fair enough. I'm sorry.
No, it seems like it worked out this time. Just something to keep in mind. If someone does get noticed, you don't all. I've watched a fair few of my friends sort of work a little too close to home, and then that's not a safe place to be anymore. Safety is at a premium, let's say.
Understood.
How are you feeling? You seemed a little tense back in the
There's
attack room.
a lot I'm feeling right now, and I'm not necessarily sure how to process it all.
Not unexpected.
I feel like I was made to be a pawn, which makes me angry. I feel
That
bad that I was used as said pawn to wound somebody who I'm rather indifferent to. And then once more, I'm angry that I feel guilty that for somebody that I had nothing to do with, and that this feeling just exists. And you're gonna notice that she begins to kind of start rubbing the tips of her fingers against her thumb as like a visible sign of frustration.
Well, there's a lesson in this. I mean, you feel what you feel. There's nothing wrong with that. And circumstances aren't great, to put it mildly. But sometimes you'll find you have to operate in less than ideal emotional states. And learning to be aware that you're in that state and how to put it aside for a better time can be a valuable skill.
So, what's actually the lesson here then? To manage emotions that I'm not used to experiencing?
Managing emotions, period.
And she is now going to be sitting with a perplexed expression.
Sorry, that possibly sounds a little bit hard. You haven't done anything wrong. I'm not trying to chastise you. Just
Well, she wasn't angry. It was just
Yeah,
now she's
no,
so I didn't want you to think that I was misconstruing. It's just
Sarah's bad at reading people.
and
anyway,
that's the
so.
whole thing. So it's just like she's like Sheldon, kind of like processing through something that she doesn't understand completely.
It's the real lesson is we're always learning lessons. If you can take a moment, you find yourself in a situation you're unfamiliar with, and you have a little bit of time to process it,
So
figure out what the lesson is.
So learning is the lesson of this event.
I wouldn't call this. Sure, you know what? I'm winging it. I
Like she's just trying. Like it's just more quizzical questions, like a 4-year-old asking you, "But why?"
Yeah, Theris hates that. But she's just sort of like, okay. Yes. Good work on the flask. She's just gonna sort of like lie back on the bed and stare up and just like, bed. Nice.
And Meili is going to enter a meditative state.
Yep. Saris is just gonna kind of wait it out for a bit and just chill in the room.
All right. So as this is happening, how long would you be leaving the room after a certain amount of time, or would you just end up resting there for the night after you waited it out?
I mean, she'll probably make sure like the room is secure before she leaves. And if I understand trance correctly, we're still technically conscious and aware of our surroundings when elves trance, so she would just sort of going back downstairs if you need anything. Not that she's expecting a response, but just to let Meili know where she can find her if she needs to. and she will head back downstairs to see if Zarya and anyone else is there.
Perfect. You come down to both Zarya and Gearfried drunk. Now, before we get there, let's get some context. You guys, I'm gonna give it to you. You guys down at least 3 to 4 beers before you get to this inebriated point. What are you all doing as you're getting drunk? So the first beer, you're feeling kind of tipsy. It's nice because it's actually been your 8th beer. I think you guys have been there for a while.
Yep.
All right.
But it's that 9th and 10th that really kind of put you over. So as you are starting to hit that more inebriated phase, what are you two doing?
I feel that 8 beer Gearfried likes to dance probably. 9 beer Gearfried talks to walls, and 10 beer Gearfried is babbling incoherently about his life.
If he tries dancing with her, Zarya will punch him.
No, not with you. He's basically doing like a river stomp in the as the bard is playing at the tavern, and by 10 beers he's kind of head almost in shoulders, one arm up to accentuate his points as he's just and then they said I couldn't grow a beard, and I said that their hair isn't fire, so they should fucking try that.
Before you get to 10 beer Gearfried, I just want you to go back for a second. Go ahead and give me a performance check.
Oh dear.
Disadvantage for the drunkenness?
No, honestly, I'm going to say straight roll because I want to enjoy this. You are going to make...
Doesn't being drunk give you advantage on, or doesn't give you some bonus to charisma or something? No, you can't be frightened. That's what it is. Sorry.
You are going to make 3 gold pieces.
And that's how Gearfried gets his later beers.
But with that, 10 beer Gearfried is now surfacing, talking about his life. How about 9 beer Zarya and 10 beer Zarya?
There isn't much change. Besides the fact that she's going a bit slower with the drinks, and she's wobbling a bit. And she seems at first she's entertaining the talking, replying a couple of times, and just slowly ceasing to talk at all, and just listening to him babble as she just stares off into space. She's a sad drinker. Sorry.
That's fine. Because the bard, feeling some of the mood, ends up playing the equivalent of the steampunk version of Piano Man. As you guys are engaging within your behaviors or within your jovialence. And this is where, Saris, you're going to enter the scene. So you kind of see Gearfried rambling about his life. You see Zarya moving sluggishly, words slurring, and overall just kind of rocking as she's sitting.
Silent, no words. No words at this point.
Do we see Saris approaching?
She's not hiding it.
Yeah, I'd say you would notice, especially if you were looking for it.
Saris, we were just talking about you.
She will sort of drape herself somewhat affectionately across Zarya's shoulders, with her head resting on Zarya's shoulder next to Zarya's face, but looking at Gearfried. Oh, that's
immediately
wonderful.
shoulders you off.
And she sort of just laughs and dances away. So rude.
Have you seen where Levin or Fennec have gone? And then Gearfried's gonna burp.
Fennec's gone?
We're going to pause
He
there.
left his room.
Pause there for a minute. Now, Levin, It's been a while since we have heard from you. What have you been doing in this entirety of time?
After taking the key back from Yami, Levin has taken a long, circumspect route back to his apartment. He's being careful to make sure that he's not being specifically followed. And he'll wait in a dimly lit, if not dark, spot somewhere a few blocks away before making his way to his apartment, entering, and with the knowledge in the back of his mind that anyone that it's going to call on him that's not part of the group is, with the instruction given earlier, going to show up as a client, and he doesn't do like emergency service types of things, so more than likely they'll show up in the next morning. He's gonna enter his apartment, look around, just taking the general air, walk over to a coat rack, nick a key from inside of a hollow inside of that coat rack, walk over to a cabinet, open the cabinet, pull out a bottle of scotch, place it on his table, pull out a glass, put that on the table, lock the cabinet back up, and he's gonna sit at his chair and stare at those for a while. This is going to be a problem. Use yourself a drink. Sits, ruminates on things, wondering, how the hell am I going to handle all of this? That issue with Yami is not terribly important. The issue with Fennec, what is? Most of them are probably, if not getting drunk at the bar, then probably causing a scene. Nothing that I won't hear about in the broadsheets tomorrow. Takes the drink, knocks it back, pours a second one, and basically spends time in the apartment just listening to the sounds outside.
Whew. Good way to process.
After a second drink, he's gonna actually relax and have a cigarette. But he has no intentions on returning to the bar unless somebody comes looking for him.
Alrighty. So you are able to just kind of hang out, relax. You won't, as said, you wouldn't be expecting anybody until the next morning. So you'd be able to just unwind without the pressures of the group.
Really hoping that Yami doesn't try knocking on his door.
Well, that's something that would probably have to be retconned in the next session. But we'll find out.
We'll see what happens.
Jumping back to the research area, you would have noticed that, again, she is now more quiet out of the expression of your feelings, or your slip and expression of your feelings. Though, again, not out of rejection, just out of being flustered. You notice that she seems to, as like the defense mechanism, go back to doing the research, taking hold of the pen and beginning to do the writing herself.
Is Body Knock gone?
Yes, Body Knock is gone.
Okay. I'm sorry for that. It was really awkward for me to say out loud, and I mean, not that you're not pretty, and like it just kind of slipped. I didn't mean to offend. Not that a compliment like that is offensive, but hold on a second. Did you know that goblins are really good at finding their way in the dark?
I did. And she's going to kind of go back to a bit of a more normal tone of voice and such. Yes, we have fairly good vision.
Oh yeah, you probably would know that though, because you're like really smart.
Well, that and I'm a goblin too.
Oh my, how could I be? Oh, I am so this.
She's gonna pat you on the top of the head.
But she makes physical contact with him.
She is making physical contact with him. She is patting him on the head.
He's gonna let out a sigh of relief. I'm sorry. I get flustered when I'm nervous, and I make really awkward jokes when I'm uncomfortable.
That's okay. I read and I research when I'm uncomfortable, so we all have quirks.
His eyes will kind of go very soft at the mention of why she researches. What do you have to be uncomfortable about?
What do you have to be uncomfortable
Or-
about?
How much time do you have?
I can multitask.
He'll say it in like a...
And you're gonna notice that the quill begins to write again.
I mean, I don't want to impose. You look busy. I interrupted. I'm probably getting in your way. You don't want to hear all that stuff. It's, you have more important things to do than listen to a random strange goblin rattle off his life's uncomfortableness that started when he was a young baby, and he's gonna catch himself rambling. I'm sorry.
I mean, sure, if that's what you'd like. And she's going to re-pick up the quill.
God, I haven't been on a first date in forever.
Wait, this is a first date? Because,
In Phoenix.
okay, gotcha. In Phoenix Eyes, gotcha. But with that, she is going to continue with the small talk. So, if you're not here for research, well, what brought you here to school?
Oh, she's going deep. I'm not here for research. I always I love learning. I really like taking in new things. Particularly about, and this is gonna be a little weird, but I like shadows. I feel comfortable in the dark.
You sound like people from up north, northeast, northwest.
Would he understand that reference?
Yeah, so up to the northwest, there is a town, there's an area, a country that was once part of Breland. It's called Drone, and that's where most of the more monstrous people live. Breland associates it with as a part of itself, whereas Drone is declaring its own independent country. This is one of those nations that have newly been cemented within the treaty about 4 years ago.
Okay. No, I'm not associated with them in any way.
So then, why should you revel in the dark? That's why I came here. I didn't want to live that way.
Because I've always been in the dark,
And
so I embraced it.
now you can make a choice. So you choose to stay there.
But who's to say that darkness can always be a bad thing?
It's not. But you can't just say
Like
that
you
it's
said.
because of everything, because you're choosing it at this point. And she's going to kind of laugh a little. Not, again, more in a nervous tone.
Maybe there's some good dark and some bad dark. I can choose to embrace the darkness that aids me, but at times in my life with people I know, I'm left in the dark. So I'm
She-
not seen.
She's going to give you a quizzical expression at that second comment. Left in the dark in what way?
In a way that I've never felt like enough. Where even as I embrace darkness and shadows in my own life, I'm often left in everyone else's.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check at advantage.
Why do you have to argue that?
What happened?
18. I said I didn't even have to argue advantage.
Oh yeah, no. She is going to
18.
put her hand on yours. She's not going to say anything, but after several moments, she is going to remove it and once more kind of nervously shift over another book, open it. And on that stunned silence, we're going to take a quick break so that the players can refresh their beverages and prepare for what happens next. Till then, check out our website, check out our merch, and hell, check out some old past shorts and episodes. We'll be right back.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms.
We are back, and we left off with Fennec speechless. which doesn't happen too often. We should revel in that moment of silence. But before we hear what Fennec is going to say next, we're going to jump back to the bar. We have the couple of drunkards, and we have the dancing elf. Not that she's actually dancing, but she just danced away from the shrug of Zarya. What are you guys like? What would you guys like to do?
Well, Gearfried would probably, after all of his beers, go and retire, and just kind of stumble into his room before falling face first on the bed and passing out in his clothes.
All right. How about for you, Zarya?
Keep drinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So with that, go ahead and give me one more Constitution saving throw.
Come on, Dice. Be on my side. This is supposed to be someone who can handle her booze. Okay. Not as bad.
There you
Keep
go.
Mhm.
See? You are able to last her about another hour or so before you begin to get very tired and ready for bed. Would you be passing out at the bar, or would you be able to make it to your room?
I think she makes it about halfway and then just... Timber!
So I'm going to say you make it about halfway up the stairs, and now you're like the Snorlax, blocking the waterway.
Like, Sarah's, like, would have at least tried to get her to her room. Just
You
watching
risk being crushed under her.
Yes,
I'm going to say,
she does.
Saris, give me a strength check. I will allow for an athletics.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I want to, actually, I do. I think there's a lot I can do with athletics.
You little freak! Oh.
Oh, God.
Large,
I
meaty
mutter
blanket.
I mutter a small prayer to Odala, hopefully allowing me to catch this and add a d4.
You are able to get her to her room.
Holy
So,
shit!
Zarya, as you lean on and you think, even in your drunken state, "Psh, she can't hold me," you find that she's much sturdier than you would have thought.
Yeah,
And
she's
she-
just like, you're
Yep.
about to tip on the stairs, like, oh, got you there. It's like, actually, like, drapes one of your arms over her shoulder. It just, like, there's nothing else to it other than she just trying to keep you upright. Because she is small, so she's trying to leverage every ounce of whatever she has to keep you up and to your room.
He starts mumbling something drunken and giant. It probably sounds like drunk gibberish to her.
It does. Very much. I don't. Yeah, no. That sounds. I'm gonna pretend that was a compliment. Yes, I am lovely and quite strong. Thank you for noticing.
As you-
And
As you get her
I'm
to her
picturing
room.
a scene.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm picturing a scene where Saris is basically doing a fireman's carry of Zarya. Both her feet and her hands are dragging the ground.
Oh my god.
I imagine it's more like a stumble and like Zarya's on her feet, but she's just like wobbling back and forth. We're like hitting into walls, and eventually she gets like, "Is this your room? No? Yes? No? Is this your room? No? No? Okay." And eventually she gets to her room and opens the door and gets her in, and just like, "All right, I'm just gonna let you fall." Oh, there you go. And she hits the bed.
Breaks the bed a little.
You hear that
Yep.
crack on that wooden bed frame as the thunk hits.
I have mending.
Hmm,
I
good
don't.
question.
Okay. So, yep, that's coming out of the deposit. That's good times. Well, and she will take a blanket, drape it over Zarya, give her a little pat on the head, like, ta-ta, sweet dreams, sleeping beauty, and she will let herself out of the room.
would you be doing anything specific after you left, or would you be turning in for the night overall?
Probably have a couple hours before I need to do a trance and get a proper rest. Just gonna go out and get a mood of. Actually, I'm just gonna go around and see if I can bump into anyone from my social circle and see if they have any kind of information on like less noticeable ways into the school, into the library. If anyone's ever tried to get in there before, and any kind of information on things I should be aware of.
Alrighty. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Less great on that.
I'll also allow for a persuasion check because you are attempting to gather information. So this is ultimately to find out more how long it would take you to run into somebody.
So investigation is for how long, and persuasion is to see if they talk to me?
Yep.
Persuasion. Enough. Okay, so there we go. Like I said, I like to roll high.
There you go. So you find an old connection as you enter the lower district. You find a connection who used to be more of a runner of information before. You have 3 questions you can ask.
Is there a way to get into the library without being seen by campus security?
Well, I'm assuming the door isn't an option then. Oh,
If that meets my criteria, I would use the door. I'm just trying to plan for an alternate route in case things go badly.
well, that's a loaded question because I don't know what you have in your arsenal, lady. It's been a while.
Full, very loud, noisome people and myself.
Alright, can you fly? Can you teleport? What can you do?
That is a good question. I do believe flight is not an option. I can climb. Actually, I do know someone who might be pretty good at scaling a wall herself.
Ultimately, for that place, the least amount of security it's got is through teleportation. Most of these campus buildings, you can't really phase through or teleport or, as the Fae call it, that Misty Step crap. But library tends to be more lenient with that policy. As long as you have a certain pendant or item, they tend to let you teleport.
Get one of these fun little pendants.
Is that your second question?
Yes.
Alright. I can get one, but it's gonna cost you.
Cost me what?
75 gold pieces.
You are doing me an amazing favor. Let's see how quickly you can get it. I'll pay you 100.
He's gonna give you one immediately. He already had one.
Oh, great. This is the kind of express service that I long for.
So, I believe your third question was, we'll see how long... no, that was more of a statement. Alright, what's your third question?
He's not a fucking genie. I think he can read context clues. Anyhow, what's my third question? Do you happen to know where the draconic prophecies are stored in the library?
No.
Oh.
I've never laid eyes on even one of them.
That's fair. It was a long shot. I thought I'd ask.
And with that, he is going to turn and walk away.
Yep, and I'm gonna be 100 pieces poorer.
Yes, but somebody, whoever's holding that item, can now teleport into the library.
I don't think any of us can teleport.
One of you can Misty Step. After all, somebody got into a room they shouldn't have gotten into without opening a door.
Ah, okay. That is handy.
Right?
I'll make a note of this.
So, with that, as you are making your way back towards the tavern, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Cool. Perception.
Alrighty. You hear faint footsteps following after you.
Mm-hmm. Are they trying to close the distance, or does it sound like they're just following me?
Matching pace and cadence. Not aggressively making it known that they're following you, but enough that you notice them.
Okay. I am looking for a one-story building that, like a couple one-story buildings that have like an alley between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna make a small show of like glancing around to make sure no one sees me without actually looking behind me, like just kind of looking to the side and kind of looking up ahead before I like quickly turn in. And then the second I take like 2 steps into the alleyway, I would like to scale the wall to the roof of the first-story building.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
I can do this. I would like to use inspiration.
You certainly can.
I'm really tired after carrying Zarya 50 feet.
I get it.
Maybe that'll be good enough.
Let's see. You are able to get up to the top, but it wasn't an easy scale. You did notice that you struggled to get over the edge, so some kind of crumbling infrastructure did kind of hit the ground underneath. Not enough to cause a lot of noise, but just enough that you ended up getting like minor scrapes in the process. Nothing too detrimental to your existence.
Okay. And once I'm on top, I cast invisibility on myself and just kind of look down and around.
Alrighty. As you enter, as you are looking down and around, you do see somebody walking into the alleyway. Seeing that it's empty, they begin to look around, down and around. How confident are you, like standing right at the edge where if you were visible you'd be able to be seen? Or would
She's
you
just
be...
sort of like standing. She's just standing on the ledge, kind of looking down, arms crossed. She's fairly confident in her invisibility.
You notice as soon as this individual looks up, their focus doesn't leave you. As if they see you.
I just sort of
dear.
wave them to join me upstairs. Like,
Dear, I told you. You can't hide from me like that. You would recognize the voice as Lena.
she I think she was named Echo on the train when I first met her. Is that the same person, or is this someone new?
No, it would be. Last time you met her, it was Lena. That's what I kind of had her as. If it was Echo, we're just going to retcon that in the past. It
She's
would be the same
Still
person.
the woman from
the Boromar clan, yep.
Yeah, but she's the one from the train that I took the dress from?
Yep. Same person.
Okay. Okay.
Again, criminal
it's like-
syndicates, you never know what the code names are.
Fair. This is so dreary. I just climbed up here. I don't want to climb down.
You're going to notice that she waves her hand, mutters a spell, and begins to levitate up towards you.
Subtlety isn't your thing. Got it.
I'm sorry. Should I have scaled a building and dropped a bunch of rocks?
It almost worked.
Sure. If you hadn't been lingering to investigate further, but I suppose it works. It serves the purpose. You're a paranoid one, aren't you?
Yes?
That's okay. And you're gonna notice that she sits down on the ledge, her legs kind of kicking freely, as she takes a drag from a cigarette that she just lit.
And to what do I owe the honor?
I figured I'd come and give you some news.
Oh, I love news.
I bet. So, it does seem that the current timetable may need to be pushed up.
That problematic. My companions are idiots.
Well, unfortunately for you, the Dusk Clan aren't.
Okay. How much of a push are we talking?
Earliest convenience, immediately, as soon as possible. From what I've heard, the Dusk have had people infiltrating and scouting the location.
I see. Okay.
And whereas we want subtlety, they're not worried about that.
Fair, fair. Well, we're mostly in place. We're just having one small problem. We cannot seem to pin down where these particular scrolls are in the library to replace them.
And I would say, unfortunately, I don't know where they are. That's why we hired you.
Indeed. Okay. Well then.
I figured the
Your-
news of the competition would be helpful enough.
Yes, because that tells me exactly where the scrolls are. Thank you.
No, it tells you that it's either now or never, because if they take them, there is no swap. And I guess anybody involved is probably going to end up dead. That's it.
Times. You are just a ray of sunshine.
Well, how is this? An extra 500 gold pieces if you can get it back done sooner, per scroll. Sooner,
do
rather
love
than
the-
later.
Right, of course. I love the, well, the rush fee definitely purchases expedited efforts. We, like I said, as soon as we know where to swap, we can drop everything else in place. So, there's that.
As said, we are looking for a fruitful partnership with you to extend past this. So, we are banking on your success. If I find out any rumors, I'll send them your way.
Sounds good. I will... Apparently, I have to go rest up for a busy day of scheming and stealing.
Oh, also, just by the way, keep in mind, we tend to always be watching. As she kind of jumps off and Feather falls down. The trail of smoke following after her.
Had to be always watching, didn't you?
But with that, would you make it back to the apartment or the tavern so that you can rest up for the night?
I think just as a lark, she would go climb up to the window of Zarya's room and just press her face against the glass in a kind of mostly to like she's trying to leave a face print on the glass, and then she just goes to her room.
Oh god, that's
really
gonna
quick.
be funny. Yep.
I'm gonna turn a funny thing to a sad thing.
Oh no.
Could I roll for nightmares?
Sure.
What would that be, you think?
At that point, depending on how you'd want to handle it for your character, the only way that I would have any sort of impact in that is if I'm using something like the dream spell and I'm taking away a long rest. So, should you want your character to have nightmares, if you want to decide it, you can pick whatever you want to roll. I would suggest a d20 and odds and even. But ultimately,
nothing like that. Completely all natural nightmares.
So, I would say go ahead and just roll a d20. Even, no nightmares. Odd, nightmares. And it's not going to affect your rest or anything like that. You have nightmares.
Do you
Are these-
pay any attention to Zarya?
I mean, yes. Are these like thrashy, uncomfortable nightmares?
Tossing and turning. Could be sweating. Could be crying.
Crap.
Otherwise asleep.
Oh, damn it. She really wanted to just put her face up against the glass, and now she's feeling weird.
Surprise! She has layers.
Saris will look concerned and let herself in through the window.
Oh, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit.
Probably not.
The confidence.
Okay.
And she is going to very quietly just start to whisper a lullaby that her parents used to sing to her.
Now I'm trying to wonder how her subconscious would react to that.
She starts very softly and just it never gets very, very loud, but she starts off like kind of at a whisper and lets it sort of subtly lift up into something
Alrighty.
like sub-vocalized.
Zarya, go ahead. Saris, go ahead and give me a performance check. Zarya, go ahead and roll a d20. Even, you are soothed. Odd, your nightmares do persist. And then you're...
Oh, Auden might be. She punches her. She is very reactive.
Okay, so how would you respond to somebody Roland's singing a
Well, that's the thing. In her subconscious, her native language is giant, so her subconscious reads foreign language whispering by her head during sleep.
True, but it's more of the melody that she's doing, not necessarily the words. If I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. So ultimately, it would just be... So even throughout cultures, like, there are similar melodies that go along. So it might be one of those. But ultimately, however you would perceive it, if you would like to attempt to wake up and attempt to strike, you could certainly try. I like Ceres's confidence, so I don't know if you're going to hit her. But ultimately, if you would like to just keep it going, you can just roll that d20 to see roughly how you'd react, because we're just going to jump also to Fennec real quick and then jump into the next morning. But how would you like to handle that? Because somebody is cooing a lullaby with you.
Does the... Okay.
I'm thinking.
I would argue you should roll something to see if the lullaby does anything soothing.
Yeah, I think I'm mixed enough. The argument for the melody has got me mixed.
All right, so like I said, go ahead and give me that d20. And then, like, even, soothed, odd, those nightmares could persist.
Well, I did roll that earlier, and I got an 11.
That's okay. We'll take that 4. It's more beneficial for Ceres. She gets to gloat that she was able to calm you.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, the song that she's humming is one that weirdly strikes something within your subconscious that calms the dreams, not necessarily causes them to stop. Like, they'll come back intermittently, but in the moment, you look peaceful. And with that, is there anything we would like to do before we jump over to Fennec and then do our time skip?
Well, as soon as Ceres thinks she's done what she can to kind of alleviate the majority of the distress, she will just sort of smile wistfully and make sure the window is closed, and then let herself out and go back to her room.
Zarya, would any of these interactions cause you to wake up? As, like, Ceres
I'm
is
being
leaving?
very quiet. She's trying not to wake her up.
Perception with disadvantage since I'm asleep. I do have the alert feature.
It only counts if you're awake.
Yeah, I know, but it
I would say...
It would grant me disadvantage roll.
I would say if you're sleeping, there's not really necessarily a perception check that would be. It would be more... I'd say give me a constitution... Yeah, you know what? Give me that perception check. It's the only thing I could think of at disadvantage.
Without or with?
At disadvantage.
1.
So take the lowest roll.
I can go worse. I didn't.
Okay.
So...
You are fast asleep.
Cool, yeah.
So you might have feelings tomorrow morning if Ceres ever tells you that she was in your room.
She won't. Ceres is never going to mention this.
But with that, if there's nothing else you guys would like to do, we're just going to jump over to Fennec. Fennec, we left off with you being kind of outspoken, or, excuse me, non-spoken. What would you like to do? Yeah. What would you like to do for the remainder of the night?
I guess he would, like, he would spend a little bit more time just, like, small talk, but then, like, after a little bit, go, like, I should probably get going and let you finish what you were doing.
If you have to be somewhere, sure. But hopefully I'll see you in class soon.
Yeah, I should, my companion traveling party doesn't know where I am, and I just need to get away from them for a little bit.
Well, hopefully everything's okay. And you know where I'll be.
It will be. Gain the confidence to speak my mind.
Well, good on that.
Thank you for listening. It's been a while since someone has.
She's gonna smile. I'm happy you were able to find somebody to confide in. It's hard to keep everything bottled up.
That it is. I feel like I finally have the confidence to unbottle it. Guess I know where to find you. See you around.
See you around. And with that, she's going to go and resume her work.
Vanek becomes a divine soul sorcerer.
Oh god. That would be
Vanek.
fucking
You just told a
hilarious.
young woman that you know where to find her.
I love
She
Vanek.
said where she would be. Oh,
So-
you're gonna love him
I-
soon enough.
Out of the context of D&D, he comes off as a massive creeper.
Out of context,
Like-
even in context. But
Even with context.
Would you
She
like to see my
likes-
collection? I know where you are.
What's coming is so.
with that, I do want to just skip ahead to the next morning so that you guys can be regrouped and we don't have to keep jumping from person to person. So
Mhm.
Fair enough.
we're gonna go. If there's anything specifically you want to do in the morning, we can do it. But if not, I'm just going to kind of railroad you all into that tavern. I don't like to do it very often, but some information has come up, and
Wrinkling cats.
you know. So, with that, is there anything you guys want to do previously to me bringing you all to the tavern at the same time?
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
Fennec
over
will be there.
eating.
Fennec will be there
Well,
because no one knew where he went.
It's more, Levin is the only one outside, and Levin does have specific reasons for possibly not coming immediately. And that's really where the biggest distinction is. So, Levin, is there anything you would like to do?
No, just waiting on the callback.
All right. Would you go first thing in the morning, or would you wait till you were summoned?
The note that I had left would be to send someone in the guise of a person making a request for an investigation.
Gotcha. So you are going to notice that you're an early riser. You are going to be hearing a knock at the door.
Levin finishes writing his quick little note and goes to answer.
You notice that there is a half-elf male individual, looks to be about 20, 25 years old. You're Levin, yes?
That's correct. Are you here for a request?
Yes, of course, I'd like to hire you.
Well, pardon me for, I don't want to be rude. Step in.
And he is going to casually step in. He is dressed in casual wear for this district. Nothing seems out of place.
All right. I'd have to hear the nature of your request, and Levin's gonna have a piece of paper in his hand that he wrote on previously, and he's gonna hand it off to that person. It's basically just a warning of, if you have anything very specific to tell me, write it down instead of telling me.
And now, just refresh my mind. What specifically did you request?
Knowing that it's going to cost me a favor with the guild, I requested the floor plans for the university.
All right. So you would notice that he begins to write things down. What it is a location. So he would tell it is a location in the upper district, specifically within a library associated, or not a library, but a building associated with the house that you're owing this favor to.
Right, and he's going to go through the motions of this. So this is the area that you want me to look into for the individual of concern?
Yes, of course. They seem to be hoarding information there, aplenty. I don't know much about it, and I'd like to learn more.
Well, that's certainly something that I can look into. Where would I be able to find you? Already knowing the answer to this question.
He is going.
Should anything come up.
He is going to give you the equivalent of 123 Fake Street, knowing full well you know where to find him.
Right, and this is going to seem a bit of an odd question. I'm looking to. You seem to be a together fellow. I'm looking to getting a couple of articles dry cleaned, and this is a specifically coded message. What he's asking for is effectively, I need to know if I'm under any surveillance. And
He's
to probably set up somebody to watch over things.
Understanding the message, he's going to think for a minute, you know, siphoning through the information he might have. It seems that rumor on the street has it that you're just a lacking of interest at this time, and that nobody really wants to hire you. But I figured I'd give you the chance.
Well, business has been a little rough. I've been gone for a couple of months. And to start things up again. Well, I will look into your request, and I will get back to you at the earliest convenience.
Of course, you can reach me pretty much anytime. And he's gonna get up
Understood.
and leave.
Levin's gonna wait until they exit, close the door, lock the door, go back, pick up the bottle, pick up the glass, get the key, put those back where they were, put the key back where in the coat rack. Alright, time to get to the rest of the group. This is gonna burn me. Alright. And he sets off.
And with that, you guys would slowly begin to rise for the morning. I'm going to say Gearfried and Zarya, and Fennec maybe, might be the ones that wake up the latest. After all, you two drank the most, and Fennec, you just kind of went to bed the latest. But you would all kind of regroup first thing in the morning. And what would you all do once you're regrouped?
Food,
Definitely food. Costs you...
calories.
For all of you, it will cost you the equivalent of a gold piece.
Fair enough.
Seconds.
Am I supposed to be tracking that?
Absolutely. It depends on if somebody else is treating you. Because it's, as a party, it's a gold piece.
It's a gold piece.
Yeah.
Hey, Zarya, I think last night I may have, I woke up with 2 extra gold. I'll pay for our I think I may have, either made an ass of myself or made an ass of you last night, and I don't remember which, and I will, place, from my math, with the gold that I made and the silver that I spent, I should have 2 gold essentially left over to bring me back to where I was from when I made money during the dancing, so I'll pay for both our meals.
Alright.
Always forget the money.
Ceres sees the two of them coming downstairs and loudly proclaims, "And here are our conquering heroes and most talented of dancers." She is projecting her voice most directly at you.
Ceres, can you, stop doing
Yes!
that with your face, please?
"What can I do to assist you?" she says, louder than necessary.
Shut the fuck up.
Thank you, my large friend.
Volume very loud. Ugh.
She continues to she will talk loudly the entire conversation.
Face on hand.
You are handed.
Hand on face. Hand on face. Shut up.
You hear the clattering of 2 metal plates being put down on the table. You were served actually fairly decent food. It is the equivalent of the greasy hangover food.
Does Ceres do the equivalent of licking the hand when you put... Did you ever do that with siblings where, like, they put their hand over your mouth and you just...
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Levin, you would be walking into seeing the scene. You'd be hearing Ceres before you saw her, as she's being strangely louder than normal.
Fantastic. She's being obnoxious. What a wonderful morning. Looking over at...
Whenever she addresses Levin, she addresses him in her normal voice.
It was that type of night, I take it.
Was. But we unlocked a new talent. Actually, I found out what Giffrey's actually good at. It's dancing.
Riveting. You made a request earlier, and he passes off the note.
So I did. And so you have delivered. You have delivered?
Generally of the hope. A location of interest.
Excellent.
Well, I would recommend that you take a look at this away from prying eyes.
She's already, like,
Because-
put it in her pocket.
I've been moving under the suspicion that some of us have been monitored.
Face impassive. How distressing.
Should I be looking out for people?
Isn't that your default?
Ceres reaches over and, like, pinches her cheek and pinches Zari's cheek and just, look at this face. Look
Left
at this
hand
face.
way.
She just laughs. Does this look like an alert and ready person prepared to face
I'm
the morning?
alert.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not alert for fucking cloaks and daggers and shit. I don't deal with that. I do find person who is hunted by law, bring person in, dead or alive. That's my thing. I don't do spy shit.
That how do you catch people? They don't. I assume they don't want to be caught. How are you?
I find the dumb fuckers.
No.
Speaking of which, has anyone seen Fennec?
Fennec, as if on cue, you are walking down from your room.
He's gonna look around. No, Yami. Shocking.
The shade.
Where's Mei Li at this point?
Mei would
She left the
probably
party.
be sitting at the table eating breakfast.
Okay. He'll shoot her a look when he says it.
Oh god.
Fennec, come over here.
That's just mean.
He comes over.
I'm assuming you had a slightly more productive evening on your own. Have you had time to think on what was said last night?
Wait, remind Matt what was said.
Levin basically stood up for you and called Yami out, saying, for the most part, saying, like, dude, seriously?
Fennec was around for that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought
He even
about it a little
recommended that you go and not engage that argument with him.
Oh, right. Now I remember. Yeah, thought about it.
Well, at least somebody has been. Speaking of, has anyone seen
I
that?
thought about it a lot more.
Well, if you feel like talking about it when we have spare time. But
I was thinking I could.
yes,
I feel like I have some
Acting
things-
weird. Is Fennec acting weird?
Fennec, are you acting weird?
Not in the like. In what sense?
not Fennec weird.
Is he acting? Yeah, is he acting unfennicky?
He is more serious than you've ever seen him. Like, there's no like bubbly to him. It is. He's still from your point of view. He's still mad.
Insight.
I...
Yep, still mad.
Yeah.
So he is like, I've thought about things, and he's gonna make eye contact with Mei Li and be like, and I have some things to get off my chest.
Looks between the two.
Mei Li just looks
sounds like a-
impassive. She's not.
This sounds like a
really-
breakfast conversation. Does anyone have food?
I steal some of Zarya's bacon.
She
and
will
hand it
bite
to her.
you. She will bite you.
I haven't even actually properly started courting you yet.
oh
my-
Feral growling.
Oh man. If you order food, the food will be given to you.
I'm peckish. I'm going to have a seat. Can we have a conversation at a table then?
So, have a seat. We're at the table.
And with
Fantastic.
that, food will be brought to you. You will be charged a gold piece. Anybody else who's eating, Mei Li will pay for her food. And again, she is looking impassively toward, or non-caringly, not non-caringly, more.
Apathetic.
Yeah. Ultimately, as much as it bothered her initially, she's also mad at it. So it's like she's not mad at Fennec. It's more on the lines of she was used by somebody else. So she is just
Upset at the circumstance.
exactly. So it's not that she holds it against Fennec and his feeling. It's just she's trying not to start anything with her own feelings. She's trying to practice the lesson she learned from Ceres the night before of controlling emotions. See, she's learning.
So, and then meta-wise, this is really going to suck for her.
Well,
Oh
part of the
dear.
lesson.
So, Fennec is just going to basically start, and this is like prefacing meta. Some of the things that he is about to go into, like, may not be 100% accurate, but it's in that moment and in that mindset where it just kind of comes out certain ways because it's not clear.
Absolutely.
It's just like
The Fennec
bottle
rant?
up is the Fennec, like the bottle is opened.
I'm
Like,
excited.
he
Let's see what's
is-
gonna happen.
So he'll just kind of like open it with, he takes you shopping and leaves. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the ride. But then he's going to continue. You really don't know what it's like. In the very beginning, I wasn't wanted. My parents, my birth parents, they tried to sacrifice me. Their own son. They didn't even care. They didn't love me. I was nothing to them. Less than nothing. They didn't want me. They didn't see me as worth keeping alive. So, I've spent my whole life being ignored, tossed aside, like I don't matter. I can't count the times I've tried to prove myself, only to mess things up or be overlooked. I've always felt like I couldn't do anything right. Even when I tried to help, it felt like I had just made things worse. Like I was the burden. Ha! And now, even now, with everyone here, I still feel like the joke. The goblin no one takes seriously. It's like my entire life has been one running gag that I'm not in on. I'd finally be seen. Oh, I thought maybe with the party with everyone here, I'd finally be seen more than just the scrappy goblin. But now, Eris gives you all her attention, Yami takes you shopping, and he has never, ever done that for me. Not once. And it is like I don't exist to him. I have always been the one people laugh at. The one they brush off because I'm not important enough to matter. I used to make jokes. Used to play the fool. Because at least if they were laughing, they wouldn't see how small I felt. How invisible I felt. It's not funny anymore, and I'm done laughing. I'm tired of being a joke. Tired of being the one everyone overlooks. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not enough. I'll never be enough. I don't know how to make you or anyone else see that. I'm more than just the party clown. That I'm actually worth something. And it hurts. More than I can say to watch. It hurts more than I can say to watch you all. Watch you of all people, get all the attention I've been begging for. To watch Yami, to watch Ceres, act like you matter more in a few weeks than I have in the entire time we've been together. What am I supposed to do with that? And he's just gonna basically, his fists are like clenched to white knuckle. And that, like, towards the end, he's finally gonna kind of have some motion and like tears in his eyes, and he's just going to put his head down and go, I don't want to be invisible anymore. And he's gonna break down.
Melee does not respond. She is silent and once more wearing this pensive expression. What are the rest of you doing? As you see Fennec kind of breaking down.
Zarya acknowledging she's been here for not even a week, gets up and walks away because this is not any of hers. She's known these people for a week. This is y'all. She's just gonna leave the situation and be at the bar. Thank you very much. Peace.
Alrighty, how about the rest of you?
There. Slides the plate over to Fennec. Zarya's plate over to Fennec.
She took it with her. I'm not leaving my food, you heathen.
Never mind. She will put a hand on Fennec's shoulder. And it goes, and just like, you've never been invisible, Fennec. And I apologize. I apologize if I made you feel that way. I have been in my own way just trying to occasionally impart the lessons I learned along the way. But I learned long ago that, well, perhaps that lesson doesn't matter right now. You are a valued member of our group. At least I think you are.
I mean, if anything, you are reliable. I did bump your priority order above Yami's about 3 days ago for Cogfrey.
I just want to matter to someone.
Not generally something you can control. But I will say I think you matter. Probably very bad at showing it. But I do think you matter.
I'm gonna
Look, Fennec,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Gearfried is going to kind of lean in and be like, I can't say I exactly relate, but I do have some past experiences that are similar. I mean, I certainly understand wanting to stand out amidst everyone, but not in the typical way. What was it?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I understand to an extent what it's like to want to stand out, but perhaps we could work on more of an image. I mean, I certainly don't mean to say that it's an earned reputation, but if you want to stand out in a way that's not simply comedy, that's not simply the relief, how about we make a name for yourself by stealing some important documents? Because quite frankly, that's what we're here for.
Point of order, we do not want to make a name for ourselves doing this. The whole point is to not be noticed.
I mean, in the group, Ceres, you know what I mean. I'm not.
Sure.
What I'm saying, Fennec, is that currently in this situation, we've all stumbled ass over kettle when it comes to trying to figure out how we're approaching this. So far, you're the only one that's actually done anything that's gotten us any sort of inside information. I mean, quite frankly, I have gotten nowhere with... And Gearfried's just gonna kind of look over at the bartender. Any mail for me?
What's your name again?
Gearfried.
No.
Yeah, see, I haven't gotten anywhere with that, and last I checked, Ceres hasn't gotten anywhere with her infiltration check. Levin, honestly, I haven't asked Levin yet, but I'm assuming that he's probably got something. But you've actually been on campus. You've gotten there a few times. None of us have done that yet.
Been on campus, just hasn't been very productive.
You were kicked out almost as immediately as I was.
I was there. Just saying.
Right, but he's actually been on campus. We have a reasonable map because of him.
I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying, to clarify, I have managed to step onto the campus.
My point is that you've been the person that's gotten closest out of any of us so far, so you're not good for nothing. You're just a very specialized tool.
You have strengths, Fennec. Just need to... You need to figure out how best to play into them.
Well, funny you should mention that. And he'll do that like sniffle, that like post-sobbing sniffle before he as he talks.
Mm-hmm.
I may have done something or gone somewhere last night.
I mean, did you get caught? How much did you pick up? How did you feel doing it the first time?
Is it getting caught if I willingly walked in?
Why would you do that? You're never supposed to get noticed. This sort of... Well, I guess you had to give it back then. I'm sorry. Better
There's
next time.
him. Don't make the 180 yet.
What? I don't...
Uh,
He's... I mean, this is your first attempt at pickpocketing, I assume.
no, I went to see the female goblin.
Why would you do that? Why would you just go up and talk to them? Why would you ruin everything? Oh my god. She's just gonna get up and walk away. She's gonna... The look on her face is... You've never seen the expression on her face before.
And I also saw Body Knock.
Yeah, she's having a psychotic break.
Hold on, before... after this whole thing that just happened with Fennec, she only put her hand on his shoulder?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything.
She doesn't
No
hug
hug?
anybody.
No hug?
No one gets a hug. Well played, though. I thought about it.
I like her. So I went and saw her. We talked. And we laughed. Awkwardly. Trust me, it was awkward. I introduced her to my key collection.
Dude,
I showed her my keys.
usually that's more of a third date kind of thing. But
All right, Fennec. I feel that we need to I feel we need to clarify. This is not a euphemism, correct?
He'll pull out the key ring.
All right. Okay. That's fine then.
I would argue that it isn't, but okay.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Well played.
Sensing the conversation has moved from emotions to plan, Daria will slowly come back.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna call it here for the night. Levin, what is your reaction during this? Because you have been very silent throughout his speech. What are your thoughts on the matter, or what is Levin doing currently?
Levin was basically waiting to be addressed. Barring that, a simple statement. Fennec, I have a question for you. Do you respect me?
Yes.
Have I ever disrespected you?
He's actually like taking a moment to think. You can see it.
You don't have to answer that one.
You haven't.
The funny thing about respect is that what we consider quantifiers for such things are going to be different for everyone. And I can guarantee for you that you will never find success in making everyone respect you. Instead, it would be best to consider what it is that you respect and the things that you would like to be respected for. And then focus your efforts on being those quantifiers and attracting the type of individuals who will respect you for it. If you respect yourself, you will attract those who will also respect you. That said, my respect is an irony. When you've reached a point in your life where you are successful and content, where there is no such desire for my respect, that is most likely the time that you'll have it.
And on those words,
He'll just kind of smile, nod, and Noted.
We're going to end here for the night. Whew, that was a rather cathartic session,
It was a good one.
right? And you almost got the hug.
Yeah.
There was that slight chance, like that 2%,
Blair
2%,
contemplated it.
2% chance. I didn't say it was a good chance. I just said there was a chance. You contemplated it. But with that, the heist and the planning are about to be sped up. After all, the Dust Clan is moving, and well, some of you have been drinking and stalking the innocent. They have been doing their thing. Players will find out more, just like you guys will, as the audience, next week. Till then, check out our store, check out our website. We are working on updating that, and it should be up in a couple of days, but our merch store is up already, and has been. So check it out. Till then, have a wonderful weekend, be safe, and we'll catch you next week.
See you later.
Night night.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.